The planet Xiron 5 was not a place many humans chose to live. Its surface was dusty and red, dotted with strange crystal formations that glimmered under the twin suns. The city of Corvin was a busy trading hub, a mix of alien species and human settlers, ships landing and taking off every hour. Among the clamor, in a quieter corner of the city, stood a small, humble workshop with a sign that read, Jax Arden, Mechanic and Engineer. Jax Arden was a human. He had sharp hands and sharper eyes, a skillful mechanic who could fix almost anything. From starship engines to old androids, he could repair or improve them. Life had not been easy for him. Humans were rare on Xiron 5, often ignored or underestimated. But Jax never minded. He loved his work, the smell of oil, the hiss of solder, the click of gears fitting perfectly. One afternoon, as Jax was cleaning a small hyperdrive component, the door to his workshop jingled. He looked up and saw a tiny figure standing hesitantly at the doorway. She was no taller than a child, with skin that shimmered faintly green in the sunlight, eyes large and golden, and hair that floated like soft threads of silver. "Hello," she said in a voice sweet and musical. "Can you fix my friend?" Jax blinked, slightly startled. "Your friend?" She held out a small android, no bigger than a loaf of bread. Its limbs were twisted, wires poking out, and one eye flickered weakly. "Of course," Jax said, kneeling to examine it. "I fix things like this all the time. What happened?" I dropped him," she said, her tone almost apologetic. "He doesn't work right anymore." Jax smiled. "That's okay. I can fix him. Sit over there and watch if you like." The girl's eyes widened with delight and she carefully sat on a small stool nearby. Jax pulled out his tools, inspecting the android. The problem was simple: a few broken circuits, a damaged sensor, and a worn battery. But as he worked, he noticed something unusual. The circuits were more advanced than standard human models. There was a design logic he didn't recognize, smooth, elegant, almost artistic. "What is this made of?" he asked. "It's from my home," she said softly. "Far away." Jax nodded slowly. "Well, we'll get him working again." He opened the android carefully, adjusting delicate wires, soldering connections, and replacing damaged parts. The girl leaned forward, watching his hands move with fascination. "You're very good," she said after a while. "Humans are clever," Jax chuckled. "Thank you." "We try our best." She tilted her head, thinking. "I want to learn like you someday, can I?" Jax's heart warmed. There was something special about this little girl, something he couldn't quite place. Her curiosity was bright, innocent, and pure. As he finished the repairs, he reattached the android's head. The small machine hummed and blinked back to life. Its single glowing eye scanned the room, and then it turned toward the girl. "You fixed him," she exclaimed, hugging the little android. Jax laughed. He wasn't too broken, just needed a careful hand. The girl's joy was infectious. She danced around the workshop, her laughter ringing through the dusty space like wind through the crystal spires outside. Unseen in the shadows, a tall figure watched silently. She was dressed in flowing robes that shimmered like starlight, her face calm but eyes sharp and alert. Her presence felt powerful, almost overwhelming. This was Empress Kalara, ruler of the Galactic Core Alliance and mother to the little girl. Kalara had been traveling incognito, curious about a human mechanic on this distant planet. She had expected arrogance or greed, perhaps fear. But instead, she saw kindness, skill, and patience. She made no move to interfere, simply observing as the human worked carefully with her daughter's treasured possession. "Do you like him?" Jax asked, handing the android back to the girl. "Yes," she said. "He's my best friend, and you're very nice." Jax smiled. "Nice is easy when you enjoy what you do." The girl studied him. "Do humans enjoy helping others?" Jax thought for a moment. "Many do, some forget, but those who don't, we find ways to make the world better." The girl's eyes sparkled, and she whispered something in her alien tongue. The android's circuits glowed faintly, lights flickering in response. Jax watched, fascinated. Something about her words seemed to awaken the little machine in ways beyond his understanding. Kelara, still watching, noted every detail. This human had no fear, no prejudice, no selfish desire. Only care, skill, and quiet strength. The day wore on and the sun began to dip low in the sky. The workshop grew warm, filled with the smells of oil, metal, and electricity. The girl finally spoke. "Will you fix other things for me, other broken friends?" Jax laughed. "I'm happy to, but first tell me your name." "I'm Lyra," she said, smiling. "And you are?" "Jax Arden," he replied, shaking her small hand. Lyra hugged her android close. "I'm glad I found you, Jax." Jax chuckled, watching her. He had repaired countless machines in his life, but never had he felt this sense of purpose. It wasn't just about fixing the android. It was about connecting, helping, and seeing someone's joy firsthand. Kelara remained silent, impressed. She had traveled across galaxies, seen countless civilizations, and encountered thousands of humans. Yet, here in this small workshop, a single human's quiet talent and care had captured her attention in a way nothing else had. "Goodbye for now, Jax," Lyra said finally, holding her android. "I will come back tomorrow. Will you be here?" "I'll be here," Jax promised, smiling. As the girl skipped away, Kelara stepped back into the shadows. She did not reveal herself, not yet. She had seen enough for today. But she made a silent promise. This human, Jax Arden, would be someone she would watch closely in the days to come. The night fell on Xiron 5, stars glittering above. Jax cleaned his tools, unaware of the silent observer who had witnessed the first chapter of a story far larger than anything he could imagine. In his humble workshop, surrounded by simple machines, the stage was set for events that would stretch across galaxies, all beginning with the repair of a single android. And somewhere above, the Galactic Empress considered the unexpected possibility that a human, so ordinary, so small, yet so capable, might prove to be a remarkable ally. The quiet of the night settled in, but the spark had been lit. Lyra slept soundly in her quarters aboard her ship, the repaired android beside her. Jax Arden did not yet know it, but his life, and perhaps the fate of many worlds, was about to change forever. The morning sun rose over Xiron 5, bathing the dusty city of Corvin in warm golden light. Birds with metallic feathers chirped above the rooftops, their songs blending with the hum of engines in the bustling spaceport. For Jax Arden, it was another ordinary day, or so he thought. He was wiping down his workbench when a soft knock came at the door. He turned to see Lyra, her small form glowing faintly in the sunlight, the repaired android clutched tightly in her hands. "Good morning, Jax," she said brightly. "I brought something for you to look at." Jax raised an eyebrow. "Something broken, I hope," Lyra giggled. "Maybe. Or maybe something new." She opened a small bag and pulled out a set of glowing blueprints. The designs were intricate, filled with shapes and symbols Jax didn't recognize. "Where did you get these?" he asked, examining them carefully. "They are from my home," she said softly. "I want to learn how humans do things. Maybe we can build something together." Jax felt a thrill of curiosity. It wasn't often that someone trusted him with alien technology, let alone designs far beyond human knowledge. "All right," he said, rolling up his sleeves. "Let's see what we can do." For the rest of the morning, the workshop was alive with activity. Jax and Lyra worked side by side, repairing broken parts, testing circuits, and improvising new solutions. The little android she had brought earlier whirred happily, assisting where it could, its small lights blinking in excitement. As the day went on, the air in the workshop grew thick with the smell of heated metal and oil, but Jax didn't mind. For the first time in years, he felt a sense of purpose beyond himself. Lyra was not just a child. She was clever, observant, and filled with a curiosity that pushed him to think in ways he never had before. However, their peaceful work did not go unnoticed. Hidden in the crowded streets of Corvin, a pair of shadowy figures watched the workshop closely. They spoke in whispers, words sharp and calculating. "That human, he is more capable than I expected," one said. "Yes," the other replied. "And the girl, she carries knowledge that could change everything. We must report to our superiors." Back in the workshop, Jax wiped his brow and looked at Lyra. "You know, it's rare for humans to see things this way. Most would just be afraid of the unknown." Lyra tilted her head, her golden eyes thoughtful. "I think humans can be brave. Maybe not always at first, but when they care, they try." Jax nodded slowly. "You might be right. Care can make people do amazing things." Suddenly, the air shimmered slightly, a faint vibration that Jax could feel through the floor. He paused and glanced at the doorway. For a moment, he thought he saw a figure watching from the street, but when he looked again, no one was there. "Did you see that?" he asked, frowning. Lyra shook her head. "Maybe a trick of the sunlight." Jax shrugged, but a small unease settled in his chest. Something about her words earlier, the way she said her home was far away, made him realize that this little girl was connected to something far bigger than he could imagine. That evening, after the workshop quieted and the twin suns dipped behind the jagged horizon, Lyra and Jax sat on the roof of the building, looking at the stars. "Humans say the stars are endless," Jax said, pointing at the glittering sky. "I've seen a lot of them in my travels, but I never thought about how many civilizations might be out there." Lyra smiled faintly. "My home, it is part of a vast galaxy. Many worlds, many leaders, many dangers." Jax looked at her, curiosity and concern mixing. "Dangers?" She nodded. "Not everyone is kind. Some want to use knowledge and power to hurt others. My mother, she protects us. But sometimes threats come too close." Jax's heart sank. He had a feeling he was about to be drawn into something far beyond a simple workshop repair. "Threats?" "To you? Yes," Lyra whispered. "But you are safe now, I think." Jax felt a chill. He was a human mechanic, not a soldier or a diplomat. But as he looked at Lyra, so small and yet so brave, he knew he could not leave her unprotected. Meanwhile, high above the planet in her starship, Empress Kalara observed the scene. She had been studying Jax for days, quietly assessing his character. His patience, ingenuity, and kindness had impressed her. Yet she also saw the growing danger around them. Rival factions had learned of her daughter's presence on Xiron 5 and were plotting to seize Lyra, believing her knowledge could give them power beyond imagining. Kalara tapped her fingers on the control console. "He may be human, but he is strong in ways even I did not expect," she murmured. "Perhaps he is worthy." The next morning, as Jax worked on modifying a small propulsion device for one of Lyra's android toys, a loud commotion erupted in the street. Figures in dark uniforms moved quickly, attempting to enter the workshop. Jax instinctively moved to block the doorway. "Who are you? What do you want?" he shouted. "We are here for the girl," one of the intruders said, voice cold and commanding. "Step aside." Lyra stepped behind Jax, clutching her android. "Leave us alone," she cried, her small voice carrying an unexpected authority. Jax's mind raced. He had no weapons, no backup, but he did have his tools, his intelligence, and his knowledge of machines. "We can solve this another way," he said calmly, but his hands moved quickly, grabbing nearby equipment. He pressed buttons, triggering small gadgets he had built for safety, blinding flashes of light, sticky nets that sprung from the ceiling, and whirring mechanical arms that spun out to block the intruders. The attackers were taken by surprise, stumbling and shielding their eyes. "Human ingenuity," Lyra whispered, eyes wide. Jax smiled briefly. "Sometimes cleverness is better than strength." As the intruders regrouped, preparing for another attempt, a shadow fell over the workshop. The air shimmered, and a figure in flowing starlight robes descended through the skylight. The Empress herself, Kalara, had arrived. The attackers froze, staring in awe and fear. Kalara's presence radiated authority and power that no weapon could match. She raised her hand and a wave of energy rippled through the room, forcing the intruders to retreat in panic. Jax stared, jaw-dropping. Who are you?" "I am Kelara," she said, her voice calm but commanding. "And you have protected my daughter with courage I did not expect from a human." Lyra ran to her mother, hugging her tightly. "Mother, Jax helped me." Kelara looked at Jax, eyes studying him closely. "Indeed, and he did not act out of fear or desire for reward. He acted out of care and skill. That is rare, even among my people." Jax felt a mix of relief and nervousness. I didn't know who she was. I just wanted to fix her android." Kelara smiled faintly, almost amused. "And that is what makes you remarkable. A small act of kindness can have consequences far greater than one can imagine." The Empress turned to Lyra. "We must be more careful. There are forces in this galaxy who would do anything to gain knowledge and power. But you have a human friend who has proven he can face them with courage and intelligence." Lyra beamed at Jax. "See, I told you humans can be brave." Jax chuckled nervously. "I guess, maybe I am braver than I thought." Kelara studied him for a moment longer. "You will need to learn quickly. The galaxy is vast and full of challenges, but I believe you have the potential to do more than you know." Jax looked around his small workshop, then at the stars above. He had lived a simple life, fixing machines, helping those who came to him. But now, the universe was opening up before him, and he could feel the weight of what was to come. The night fell over Xiron 5, and the city returned to its usual rhythm, unaware that a human mechanic and a little alien girl had already altered the balance of events. Jax sat beside Lyra on the rooftop again, looking at the stars. "You think I can handle what's coming?" he asked quietly. Lyra smiled, holding his hand. "You already are. Humans can do amazing things when they try." And somewhere above, Kelara watched, confident that this human, small and ordinary as he seemed, might just be extraordinary enough to stand with her in the challenges ahead. The galaxy was vast. Dangers lurked in shadows. But Jax Arden, armed with ingenuity, courage, and the trust of a small alien girl, was ready to face what came next. The spark had become a flame, and the story of a human who could change the course of events across worlds was only just beginning. The twin suns of Xiron 5 had barely risen when the city of Corvin buzzed with tension. Word had spread quickly of the attempted attack on Jax Arden's workshop. The rival faction, seeking the alien knowledge Lyra carried, was preparing a full-scale assault. This time they would not be deterred by clever gadgets or improvised traps. They were coming with starships, weapons, and determination. Jax woke before dawn, his mind racing. He had never faced anything like this. He looked at Lyra, who slept soundly beside her small android companion. Her golden eyes were closed, her hands clutching the machine as if drawing comfort from it. Jax felt a surge of determination. "This is my problem now," he whispered, "and I won't let them hurt her." He moved quickly through the workshop, gathering tools, spare parts, and anything that could be turned into a defensive device. He checked every corner, every doorway, and every rooftop, preparing for what was coming. Jax knew he was outnumbered and outgunned. But he had human ingenuity and he had Lyra's trust. That might just be enough. By mid-morning, the first shadows of the enemy arrived. Small skiffs descended from the sky, weapons glinting in the sunlight. Jax stood on the roof, surveying the incoming threat. He felt his hands tremble for a moment, but then he remembered Lyra's words. Humans can do amazing things when they try. He activated the first of his defenses. Nets sprang from hidden compartments, catching the first wave of attackers by surprise. Mechanical arms whirred into action, spinning like steel fans, blocking pathways and forcing the enemies to slow down. Blinding flashes from improvised strobes caused confusion among the attackers. Jax darted between cover, using his gadgets to maximize every advantage. He was not a soldier, but his mind worked like a machine. Every move was calculated, every action precise. Even the smallest human-sized devices caused disproportionate effects on the heavily armed intruders. From her perch nearby, Lyra watched in awe. "He's incredible," she whispered to her android, who mimicked a nod of agreement. The enemy regrouped, preparing for a stronger assault. But just as they advanced, a shimmering wave of energy filled the street below. Kelara had arrived in her flagship, her presence alone intimidating the attackers. The ground vibrated slightly under the energy radiating from her. "Stop," she commanded, her voice resonating with authority. "Leave this place or face consequences you cannot survive." The rival faction hesitated, uncertainty flickering across their faces. They had not expected the Galactic Empress herself to intervene. In that pause, Jax seized the opportunity. He activated his most daring plan. Using parts of his workshop, Lyra's alien blueprints, and the android's agility, he created a network of traps that funneled the attackers into narrow alleys. Blinding lights, sticky barriers, and spinning mechanical arms worked together like an orchestra of defense. Every step the enemy took was anticipated, every move countered. Lyra, inspired by Jax, contributed too. She used her knowledge of alien tech to enhance his devices, creating energy shields, sensor scramblers, and small drones that hovered above the battlefield. Together, human ingenuity and alien technology formed a perfect partnership. The rival faction faltered. Their coordinated attack crumbled under the combined cleverness of a human mechanic, a little alien girl, and the quiet oversight of the Empress. "Jax, you are extraordinary," Lyra whispered, eyes wide as one of the enemy skiffs exploded harmlessly into the air, blocked by one of their traps. Jax smiled, adrenaline pumping. "We're not done yet. Keep helping me." As the last of the intruders tried to flee, Kelara stepped forward. She looked at Jax, her eyes gleaming with approval. "You have proven something remarkable. A human, small and seemingly ordinary, has outwitted trained soldiers, protected my daughter, and preserved valuable knowledge." Jax wiped sweat from his forehead. "I just did what I had to do." "No," Kelara said firmly. "You did more than that. You showed courage, resourcefulness, and compassion. That is the mark of someone truly extraordinary." The city slowly returned to calm. Citizens peeked from behind shutters, whispering about the human mechanic who had defended the city with clever machines and quick thinking. Word would spread across the planet, perhaps even across the galaxy. Lyra hugged Jax tightly, her golden eyes shining. "You saved me. You really did," Jax chuckled softly. "I couldn't have done it without you, Lyra. Your knowledge, your ideas, they made all the difference." Kelara approached, her tall form radiating grace and authority. "Jax Arden, you have earned not just my respect but my trust. In a galaxy filled with power, ambition, and fear, you remind me that courage and ingenuity often come in small, unexpected packages." Jax looked at her, stunned. "Trust me, but I'm just a mechanic." "You are human," Kelara said simply, "and that is enough. Humans have a way of surprising even the most powerful of beings. You acted without expectation, without arrogance, and without fear. That is a rare quality even among my people." Lyra tugged on her mother's robes. "Mother, can he stay? Can Jax help us more?" Kelara smiled faintly. "Yes, my daughter. He will remain by your side, not as a servant or soldier, but as an ally, a friend, and a guide. The galaxy is vast and full of challenges, and we will face them together." Jax felt a mixture of pride and humility. He had never imagined such a life, working in a small workshop on a dusty planet and suddenly being recognized by a galactic empress as someone valuable. But more than titles or recognition, he realized the truth of what Lyra had said. Humans can do amazing things when they try, and sometimes, even the smallest actions can ripple across the stars. In the days that followed, Jax worked closely with Lyra and Kelara's team. He repaired starships, upgraded defenses, and shared human engineering knowledge that surprised even the most advanced alien engineers. Lyra learned quickly, absorbing everything he taught her, while Jax discovered new ways to think about technology by studying her alien designs. Word of their collaboration spread. Humans across other planets began to gain recognition for their ingenuity, bravery, and creativity. Kelara personally endorsed Jax, showing the galaxy that humans, though not the largest or most powerful species, could leave a lasting impact through intelligence, compassion, and determination. Months later, Jax stood on the observation deck of Kelara's flagship, looking out at the stars stretching endlessly before him. Lyra played nearby, her laughter echoing in the corridors, and the little android zipped around, helping wherever it could. "You've come a long way," Kelara said beside him, her voice soft but firm. "Not just in skill, but in understanding. Humans have a unique way of seeing the universe, and you've proven that even small acts, repairing an android, protecting a child, can change the course of events." Jack smiled, thinking of his quiet workshop on Xyron 5. "I never imagined any of this. I just wanted to fix things to help where I could." "That is exactly why you succeeded," Kelara said. "Because you act with care, thought, and ingenuity, not for power or glory. That is the essence of humanity, and why I believe your kind can achieve greatness." Lyra ran up, holding a small device she and Jax had built together. "Look, Jax, we finished it. It works perfectly." Jax laughed, ruffling her hair. "I see that. You've learned fast, little one." She beamed, golden eyes shining. "We make a good team." "And that," Kelara said, watching them, "is how humans thrive, not through domination but through cooperation, creativity, and courage. One human with the right heart and mind can inspire change across worlds." As the flagship soared above Xyron 5, leaving the planet behind, Jax looked at the stars and felt something he had never felt before: hope. The universe was vast, dangerous, and unpredictable, but he now. A mechanic fixed an android for a little alien girl, unaware her mother, a Galactic Empress, watched.